2022. What a year. Hey everybody, it's DJ Alex14, and check out my new hat. I got my tag on there, Mega Blaziken. Really love it, really love it. So, without repeating myself with the same stuff that I said in my Instagram live from the last week of December, where I talked about how the year went, how it was one of the worst years mentally for me, how at the end of it I was just like, man, why am I feeling so off? Why am I feeling depressed again? Like, I'm not kidding, guys. Last year, it was like, it wasn't because of the stress, it wasn't because of the friends I lost, it wasn't because of moving or work, it was because I just needed some time to reflect and heal from all that I just already mentioned. So in order to do that, I only have one thing left to do to properly end off 2022, and that is to recap all of the good things that happened. That alone will be my incentive to make 2023 a much better year, and so that I can actually say, Happy New Year, here's to 2023. So, no further delay, let's go over all of the good that happened in 2022, so I can finally put it to rest, I can leave behind all that awful garbage, and have a happy 2023.
January 2022 began with an anime convention where I got to cosplay Shoto Todoroki from My Hero Academia, and even be part of a panel. For me, this was a really good start, because this is the beginning of where I started to do things that were outside of my comfort zone. Before all that though, I found myself being part of a My Hero Academia cosplay group run by my best friend and cosplay mentor. That Konnichiwa event that we attended back in 2021 was us getting together for the first time and getting to know everybody before we did the panel, and by the time that convention came around, I got to co-host it. Even better, it was an 18+ panel, and at first I thought I wasn't quite cut for this sort of thing, but when we did it, it was a huge success. I especially had a great time doing the panel with my friends, as I've never laughed so hard in my life. I had such a good time, and these people were just so fun to work with, and I was, for once in my life, looking forward to doing more of that kind of stuff. I had the greatest time, and it helped me grow closer to the community and my new friends. Most importantly, it helped me grow as a person. 2022 did in fact put me through lots of personal growth. I was willing to get out more and express myself, be it through cosplay, dance, and a few other things. This alone was something I needed, especially after COVID. The next weekend, I was able to attend both Superhero Saturday and Anime Alley. Both of these were free to attend events in Arizona, and they were both really fun. As a matter of fact, I decided to take my Ash cosplay on stage for the cosplay contest, and I won 3rd place. It was an amazing feeling, especially in front of the entirety of the city of Phoenix. Then at Anime Alley, I got to see a lot of good friends of mine as well as make new ones. February 2022 was kind of an odd time for me. As content as I was to have friends again, I then remembered, oh shoot, I have to get back to doing the stuff I love, finish what I started, you know? So I felt motivated and ready to make videos again, finished up my SabatonCon vlogs, and then I got around to making the vlog video of Be My Secret 2021. Not too surprised about it, but a lot of you guys loved it, and I still think that this is one of my best vlog videos I've made. It definitely gave me the motivation to keep doing this. You know, when I upload a new vlog video on my YouTube channel and you guys get to watch it and give me feedback on it, honestly, the most satisfying thing about being a YouTuber. Even better when some of my friends are in my videos and I get to shout them out, be it Instagram, Twitter, or any other social platform. Anyways, I do remember the weekend before Valentine's Day. I went to one of those cars and cosplay meetups, I think it was AZ Sugoi or Akihabara AZ or something like that, and literally all of my close friends were there. It was an amazing time, and I could not feel any happier to be there, surrounded by the most awesome people I've ever known. In March of that year, things were looking up. I took a weekend vacation in Flagstaff to attend an anime convention called KikoriCon. I'll say, despite the fact that things ended on a sour note that weekend, I very much enjoyed my time over there, and I can't wait to go back again. If you haven't seen my vlog video of my KikoriCon adventure, give it a watch. After that, here's where the weird comes in. My friend group was beginning to drift apart, my part-time job was cutting my hours, gas prices started increasing. I'm pretty sure you all know the weird stuff that happened then. I explained it already. But there was some happy stuff that happened in the midst of all that confusion. I went to the Odyssey Aquarium in Scottsdale with my family. This place was amazing, and I have not been to an aquarium since my 16th birthday back in 2013. Jeez, that's almost a decade ago. I sure had a good time, and it was legit relaxing and soothing during such a confusing point. They say that watching, observing, and just learning about sea life in general is rather therapeutic. After a good time at the aquarium, we had lunch at Johnny Rockets and explored the Arizona Boardwalk more afterwards. Took some cool pictures, and I even did a TikTok trend dance for the first time, and I felt really proud of myself afterwards. Like I said, outside of my comfort zone, but it was well worth it. I was no longer afraid to try new things. And speaking of not being afraid, I found myself competing in Super Smash Bros. Tournaments again, even though I said long ago that I had retired. However, this time felt really different. I was in a completely new scene with new people, and to my surprise, they were all very kind and nice. I got to chat with people not just about the game, but about other stuff as well, the characters we love playing, and yeah, and it was fun just watching people play on the big screen, and I myself got to have that opportunity as well. And I guess we can say my love and passion for Smash Bros. Reignited once again. Check out this highlight from my second to last game when I was pretty far up in the losers bracket.
Wow, DJ Alex with that aerial combo.
April. Oh boy, things were still weird, and I remember having an entire week off of work, and I wasn't scheduled at all. So first, I decided to April Fool's prank everyone on Instagram into thinking I was going to move back to my hometown. And then I did a fun little Twitch stream of me playing and 100% completing Mega Man X. It's still on Twitch, however, the audio is a bit bugged because I was using my old headset. I didn't have a decent mic at the time. I think the best memory I had in April was going to the early screening of the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie. It was a blast, and probably one of the best movies I've watched that year. The second movie turned out to be a lot better than the first. It excels at literally everything as a sequel, and as a fellow Sonic fan, it hits all of the right spots. I even gave it a second viewing and I still loved it, and I'll probably love it even more if I get the chance to watch it again. I also remember going to my first public Pokemon Go Community Day event. Stuffle was the star of the show, and I got to meet so many other Pokemon Go players. This was the greatest time because it felt like I was returning to the Pokemon Go scene again. I remember being actively involved in the scene back in Tucson, but unfortunately because of COVID, I couldn't do that anymore like I used to. And then I got to experience Niantic events like this again, this time in Phoenix. Easter weekend saw some good memories too. I spent that whole weekend at my family's house back in Tucson, and I got a surprise visit from a friend I have not seen or talked to in years. It was my best friend from my middle school days. It was a joy having him stay over with my family and reminisce about our days as middle schoolers, and how he basically helped me through all that culture shock. We had a family cookout, which we have not been able to do for a while because of COVID, and just all around a good time. I loved it. And now we come to May, my birthday month. Things really started off with a bang as I went to another Cars and Cosplay meetup at Jesse James Comics, the same place where Akihabara AZ and Karnichiwa took place. I got to reunite with my cosplay friends, and right after I hosted a little birthday get-together at the park not too far from my apartment. We had pizza, we had cake, we played video games, and I probably got the best heartfelt gifts from them. As for my actual birthday, well, I didn't really get to celebrate, unfortunately. I was busy with my new job, trying to learn how to do it, but struggling every step of the way. After 2 weeks, I decided to call it quits because it just wasn't working out. Did I get to celebrate my birthday after? Well, kinda. I met with some good friends at Mango Rabbit Tempe for a bit, and then I went out to dinner with them at Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah, despite the good time that I had that day, I had a falling out the next day. Well, it was a falling out and it wasn't. It was more or less finding out that I was caught up in a toxic relationship that I needed to get out of. Took a while to heal from that experience, but hey, I got to go to Phoenix Fan Fusion. And I'll tell you guys right now, I have a vlog of my experience at PFF currently in the works right now. Without talking about it too much, I'll say that one of my favorite moments from that whole event was getting to meet Christina V and Michael Jones. I also got to reunite with my cosplay group and kind of reconcile with them. We have since went our separate ways, but, you know, I'll always remember the good times we had together, and I'll leave it at that. Completely unrelated, but I also made a video that was supposed to be done on Halloween, but I uploaded it anyway, and it was a success. I hope to make another video as good as that soon. After Phoenix Fan Fusion was over, I got my Kirito cosplay delivered to me, and then I was horribly depressed and unemployed. And as a result, June was a pretty busy and kind of unfun month. I forgot to mention I decided to move into a different apartment due to the place being bought out by a bigger company, which was going to drastically raise the rent, and yeah, I was having none of that. I spent the first half of June looking for apartments and jobs, and eventually we found a new apartment in the northern Phoenix area. In the middle of June, I was able to move into the new place, and I found myself working a job I didn't really want to do, but I had to get back to working sometime because, well, you know, we gotta work. It was a rather rocky start, and I'll be honest, I spent most of my days being an emotional wreck. I felt isolated from my friends, I was alone for the most part, and I was unmotivated to do anything I enjoyed. I'm at least glad my best friend Maddie was able to snap me out of it with an online Pokemon battle in Pokemon Let's Go. It was quite a blast, let me tell you. I wish I saved that video. Seriously though, I'm super happy to have her. That's what best friends are for, right? July was when things were slowly starting to look up. I went to the first indoor Ganbate pop-up, and that was when my motivation to do fun stuff was beginning to reignite. I met some new friends, I got to rock my Ash cosplay once again, and it was an alright time. Wish I could have done more, but whatever. I was still healing. The next weekend, I was invited to a pool party hosted by some good friends of mine. Anissa, shout out to you for inviting me. I ordered pizza for us, and we had a fun night just swimming in the pool, cracking funny jokes, and playing some games. Yeah. Went to another cosplay meetup at the end of July, this time in Glendale, where I got to show my Kirito cosplay for the first time. Yeah, I can't remember how that night went exactly, but it was a good night nonetheless. And then we come to August. It started with Game On Expo, a gaming convention I've been wanting to return to since 2019 when I got to attend just for one day. It was also my first Phoenix convention, but this time I was going for the whole event. I had also met a lot more voice actors than I have ever met. I got to meet Roger Craig Smith, voice of Sonic the Hedgehog since Colors and Freeriders, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, the voice of Tails from that exact same era, Callan Goff, voice of Funtime Freddy, the daycare attendant from FNAF Security Breach, and various other cartoons and anime. On the last day, I got to meet Shirami Lei, voice of Asuna from Sword Art Online, Lucy from Fairy Tail, and Makoto from Persona 5. I just found that out right now. After that, I remember quickly changing into my Mario cosplay and going to meet Samantha Kelly, the voice of Princess Peach and Toad. That was such a great moment. There was much more that happened, like a Sonic karaoke panel, meet and greets with Sonic and Tails, a Smash Brothers panel that my friends ran, playing VR with my friends Elfie and Pirate, and playing Beat Saber for the first time. However, I didn't get to do all that much gaming like I originally planned. Like, I missed the Smash Brothers tournaments, the Mario Kart tournaments, the stuff I really wanted to do but I never got to. There was also me cosplaying Trainer Red for the first time and bringing back a long-forgotten cosplay, Trainer Ethan or Trainer Gold. Icing on the cake, I got to meet Gerard the Completionist. I'm still very grateful for that. I love this guy. He's one of my favorite YouTubers on the platform and one of my few inspirations as a content creator. I can't remember much after that, but I remember just getting called into work on the last day as the con was about to end, and I was buying games that I looked everywhere for as well. And I was starting to love video games again. So as a result, I did a lot more gaming related posts on my Instagram page. Oh yeah, that, and I finally got around to finishing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's World of Light story mode. It was really worth it, let me tell you, especially after neglecting it for so long. September. A month that really had an impact on me mentally and emotionally. I got to attend SabotanCon for the third time. And this time, I had an entire cosplay lineup unlike the previous year. It was nice coming back a year later, especially since Saboton was the ultimate return of Arizona cons the year before. And I really enjoyed my time there, getting to see literally all the friends I met throughout the course of that year, showing everyone all of my new cosplays, especially Kirito from Sword Art Online. I met Lex Lang, the voice actor of Dr. Cortex from Crash Bandicoot, and meeting people who really liked my vlog videos. Legit put a smile on my face being told how much of an impact I left on the community after posting those Saboton 2021 vlog videos. Like I said, one of the most satisfying things about being a content creator is receiving all of this lovely feedback. Feedback does mean a lot, you know, be it positive feedback, negative feedback, and even true constructive criticism. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows though, as on the last day I had this panic attack. I almost left the con early, which meant I would have missed the closing ceremony. Instead of ending off on a positive light, especially since it's been a year since cons opened up again, I'm just anxious. Anxious about so many things, anxious about myself, and even a little bit of imposter syndrome. What I didn't expect was the amount of support that I got from some good friends who really had my back, and they had me hang with them a bit, and they made me stick around for the closing ceremony. Thank you guys so much again, I appreciate y'all. So after that, I took a much needed break and did stuff I enjoyed on days I didn't work. I went to a friend's birthday get-together at this arcade bar, I had Nintendo-themed ice cream from Cold Stone, and icing on the cake, I got to take with me my buddy Biscuit to a Ganbate meetup. One of my big goals for a while was to get Biscuit out more, and taking him to one of these was a surefire way for me to do that. He behaved surprisingly well, even if there were other dogs. One last highlight from September for good measure, super hype Nintendo Direct that announced 3 titles I got super ecstatic for. Pikmin 4, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Basically the sequel game to Breath of the Wild we have waited so long for. And then one night I had a grocery bag thrown at me at the end of my closing shift at my job. October was without a doubt my favorite month from 2022. October left the best impact on me. It felt like I'd finally redeemed myself after a tough past couple of months. It started and ended on a high note. I got to attend the Be My Secret Cars and Anime Con Arizona again, and it ended up being 10 times better than the first time I went back in 2021. I even came back in my Kalos Ash Ketchum cosplay, which has always been my comfort cosplay. Yeah, Be My Secret 2021 may have been the one where I found some new friends and I cried at the end because it was then when I realized I was no longer alone and I felt light begin to shine back in my life. Be My Secret 2022, a lot of my good friends attended and I got to see awesome performances, interviews with voice actors, dancing to the live music, vibing with my friends, and here's where it gets good. I get probably the biggest opportunity that I will never get again. They decide to whip this dance-off out of nowhere, and I took part in it, and I didn't realize that I was basically killing it. I'm not sure if I told you guys, but I love to dance. It's like I was awakening yet another long-lost passion. It went so well that I ended up winning that dance-off, and literally everyone around me was cheering and complimenting and just being so awesome to me afterwards. Unlike the previous Be My Secret, this was a 2-day event. The second day, I went as Trainer Ethan/Trainer Gold, another one I consider a comfort cosplay. And what I did not expect was a major outpour of support from literally everyone around me. I have never felt so humbled in my life, you guys. The people who ran the event literally shouted me out on social media. With my permission, of course. The Be My Secret team literally showed a lot of support, and even the Gearhead Society team reached out to me. It was so awesome. Other than that, I got to chill with my buddies and see more music performances, and oh man, my friend Ali aka Ahi Goat did her first singing performance and did rather well. And then they did yet another dance-off where there was even more people who entered and I ended up going in just for funsies. But, okay, this has to be the highlight of the year 2022 for me. I didn't think I'd actually become a crowd favorite and win a second time. It was here where I got the biggest standing ovation I have ever gotten in my life. I was so shocked. And the very moment the guy who runs the event said that my prize was a $200 gift card for both Be My Secret and Gearhead Society, I was so overwhelmed with emotions that I fell to the floor and cried. I was finally back to being the happiest I've ever been and surrounded by the most awesome people I've ever met. Not all of my friends could be there to see that glorious moment, but the ones who were there came together to both congratulate me and comfort me. Even though I had to return to work the next day, I was still getting tons of support from literally everyone who was there that weekend. And guess what? It only got better. I got to return to my hometown of Tucson, where there was a Ganbate pop-up right outside of the Bookman's I spent most of my kidhood at. Like, this bookstore, I've had such a history with. You know, not just from like the books and all the comics and stuff, but the video games and electronics that were there. It felt so special to me because I got the same amount of positivity as before. I was getting recognized, I got to see friends I haven't seen in years, including the guy who works at Bookman's and hosted Smash tournaments in the past. It was such a great night, and I'm just so happy I got to take part in this. After Ganbate was over, I got to spend the night at my family's place, and I got to have the honor of telling everyone about all of my wild adventures in Phoenix. You know, it took the support of my entire family to make this all possible. All the rest of October went very well. I went to the Halloween Anime Fest where I helped a good friend of mine run her booth, watch one of my close friends sing on stage, and I even got to hang at UwuCon for a hot minute. As for Halloween itself, I got to go to work cosplaying Shoto Todoroki, and it was fun. All that happened throughout October made me realize how much I've grown as a person. Yeah, I've faced a lot of struggles, but I've always remained committed to my goals, and I've done everything in my power to keep pushing forward. November, when things went good for a short while, then just kinda dulled out in the end. There's this Italian club that's like a 5-minute walk from my apartment that I went to often, and they did these cool markets. I got to know the community, and I even made some friends. I spent the first part of November actually finishing games from my backlog, like Metroid Dread and Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Did I mention I was doing a second playthrough of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? I even started a new gameplay series where I play games I bought long ago but never actually played it yet, or games I missed out on, starting with the Mario Kart DLC. I hope to continue this series in 2023 because I had a lot of fun doing it. Let's see what else I can remember from November 2023. Oh yeah, I remember staying up late with one of my friends who lives far away to watch the Artemis rocket launch into space and the mission to return to the moon after so long. I'll say, what a dazzling sight it was to watch that thing launch into space live, and getting to learn lots of interesting things about this mission from NASA themselves. What else? Well, a good friend of mine got me out of the house to go have fun at this place called Castles and Coasters, and then we had dinner afterwards. And then, in Pokemon Go, I got to get my Mega Blaziken. Now that made me super happy. Anything for my boy Blaziken. At last, we come to December. Marks both the end of the year as well as the holidays. I can't remember too much from December other than, well, I went to Westgate in Glendale and that was a pretty sight. I went to this Christmas-themed market and yeah, that's all I can really remember. It was at this point when I decided to go on hiatus to just sit alone and reflect. I didn't realize how much I needed this until it hit me. I spent Christmas alone, I spent the majority of December alone, so yeah. 2022 was a month where I experienced lots of growth for sure, but I also lost a lot throughout the year. And I went from having stability to having to just live on survival mode. 2022 had its ups, had its downs, but you know what? No matter how many times I got knocked down and I thought I was hopeless, I got up every time. I made friends, lost friends, but that alone taught me that maybe I've been too easy to walk on. One of my big goals for 2023 is to set more boundaries, which means quitting doing the following: trying to please everyone around me, thinking I'm not good enough, being afraid of change, and consuming literally everything that involves what people say or think about me, surrounding myself with people that leave me feeling small, feeling guilted into staying in situations that are not good for me, and most importantly, I'm going to speak up when the time is right.
So, the date of recording this, as we speak, is March 1st. And I know that it's taken me 2 months to finally do a recap like this, but in terms of goals for the rest of 2023, before I go into complete detail about all that, I just want to make a quick announcement about things that I didn't even write in the script. So, as of now, I'm currently in a situation where I am feeling a little bit stuck. And by stuck, I mean this is something that I can literally do nothing about at the moment. I just have to write it out for maybe a month or two. It's one of those situations that involves, you know, family members moving in with me, and basically we're all trying to, you know, come together to create a brighter future for all of us. Because, well, times have gotten really weird, and it's affecting not just me, but the rest of my family. And I am going to be moving out of this apartment, as well as cutting ties with the current retail job that I've been in ever since I've moved to this place and started there. And it's not going to be an easy task, because there's a whole lot of problems that I'm having both at my job and living here. And it's one of those things where my mind is still mentally in 2022. Even though it's a new year, 2023, it just feels like we've taken a step back. And yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys that. So until I move out of this place and I get out of my current job, I am probably going to be inconsistent. This whole situation has been just draining me and taking up a whole bunch of my time. And the reasons why are very, well, I can't go into full detail about it, unfortunately. It's not that I don't want to, it's that I'm afraid it's going to come out wrong and it's going to come off as, well, weird. 2023. The goals that I have set for the girl, well, where, as might say, the goals that I did have. This freaking, forgive me, there was a bug in my face. We've been having gnats in the place lately. Okay, so anywho, before that gnat rudely interrupted my recording, the goals for 2023. Or should I say the goals that I have set for once I have my stability back in gear, is that I'm going to try to focus more on myself and my mental health. And I just want to point out that that was what I was supposed to be doing in 2022, but I got way too dependent on hanging on to the friendships that meant a lot to me, and even the ones that just weren't meant to be. And I also said sometime in July last year that I was just going to barrel through without thinking about things too much, like algorithms and anxieties, and that I would probably go on to something else if that didn't work out by the end of this year. Well, I thought through it, and I thought that, you know what, I just need to get back into a better mindset first, because those of you know me know that I put so much of myself into what I do. And I put so much of my own personality into my videos, my posts, my reels. And a common anxiety that I tend to have is that if the algorithm fails me and it doesn't allow me to reach as many people as I can to the point where I just fall into irrelevancy, even if it's something that I poured my heart and soul into and worked so hard on it, put so much energy to it, it's not hard to separate that and not let it affect you personally. And a hard lesson that I learned was that, yeah, things aren't always going to go the way I wanted or expected, but that's no reason to straight up stop trying my best, especially when I just stop and realize that there's so many of you out there who have my back, count on me. So I'm trying my best is still going to impact anyone and everyone around me. And lately, I've been going out with friends more. Like every weekend, when I get the chance, I'm going out to hang with friends at either events that are going on around town, or just having a little weekend with them where we just kind of hang and talk and just getting me out more, just, you know, helping me heal. Another thing that I'm still trying to come to terms is that, well, shit happens. At the end of the day, I still want to do my best to make people proud, make good content for you, and if something that happens that seems like it's going to interfere, then I'm going to deal with it. Even though my current situation, I have to deal with itself until it's all done and said and over with, I'm gonna try, like, once I move out and hopefully my days and my schedule are a little bit more stable, I'm gonna really try to not let things slow me down or even stop me from trying my best going forward.
Also, just as a quick side note before I end off, look at all these new games that I've had ever since they released. Well, not all of them since they released, but some I treated myself to for Christmas. Others I got on day of release, like this one and this one. And yes, that is literally the European version. But yet, if you look at the game card, well, you see that it says Scarlet, while the other says Scarlato.
Really, that's all I have to end off here with. So until then, or at least until I make my next video, I'll see you guys next time. For those of you who just subscribed to my channel, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you, and hopefully there's going to be more going forward. And I will update by the time I am able to get out of here. But for now, I'm just going to catch up on projects and maybe think of some new ones for some new content. And for those of you who follow my Instagram, I've separated my gaming content from my cosplay content, because I know most of my Instagram has been mostly cosplay stuff because I've been really involved with the community, and I'm hoping that this year I bring back the motivation to cosplay again. And I have a separate gaming page where I'll be posting you know, gameplay, and I'll be sharing my collections, just a whole lot more that I'm trying to do to kind of spice things up a bit. I'm DJ Alex14, and I'll see you guys later. I apologize, I don't know how to end off right now. There's just a lot of things going through my head, and there's a lot that I need to do. So, see you next time.